Hey, welcome back to the channel, everybody. Got details coming in about the Yo Gotti Young Dolph situation with moneybaggyo. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, and comment down below. Let me know where y'all are from and who you a fan of. Let's get right into it, man. So Yo Gotti knows that he was with moneybaggyo in that Bentley. And back when they got that ticket, they know exactly who it was that was riding in it. So 9 times out of 10, the chances are that it was all of them again riding by it when the whole Young Dolph thing was going on in that parking lot. Because we seen them driving on that street right on the other side of that curb where the sidewalk and the grass ends. And so one thing is that they was heading towards going to catch that flight because they was trying to dip out of town ASAP to get that alibi. And now that this whole thing's coming about, moneybaggyo want to do the shows without Yo Gotti now because he knows that they was in that whip together. And so this whole thing is going to come back and trace them at the same location, at the same spot, because people was already talking a long time ago about how they had the Bluetooth ping them to being right there anyways, but you couldn't see it behind the tent. But the fact that they was in there together and now they kind of disassociating because they don't want to be seen being at the same place, same time again, so that they don't think that they could come back and get a RICO on them, being that they all a part of CMG. And so that's why a lot of people in Memphis and the sources are talking and saying that it could be a situation where people are thinking that CMG could be breaking up because Black Youngster doing his own thing. We just heard from Black Youngster for the first time in a minute. Like, he put out some things that somebody reposted, but what you got to understand is that they're not in the same studios together no more. Like, they're not doing a CMG cipher no more. All of those days is back behind them, because if they do and they come together, who knows if they all being watched and staked out on, the feds could sweep them a chance they get that they all in the same spot at the same time. And so that's why moneybaggyo sat down and talked to Yo Gotti, and they got into it. Like, they was at Yo Gotti's basement, and they was talking about Yo Gotti's dad was right there listening to him, and they was all talking about, you know, why he couldn't come and do the Yo Gotti couldn't come and get a percentage off the shows for being his manager and whatnot. Because one thing you got to understand is that they all get a piece off of everything no matter what, is because that's the agreement that they all got into anyways. And so he told Zebo that he can't go and have moneybaggyo come to his shows. Yo Gotti can't go to the shows or nothing like that. And so that they had to basically, until things is figured out, that they got to lay low on each other, just due to the fact that they was at the same place in the same time on the same day when the Young Dolph thing came out, because nobody ever asked moneybaggyo where he was. And so when that Bentley's right there in front of it driving by, it's got to be one of them. It's got to be one of them. And that's what people are saying in the streets. So you already know that people in Memphis know. And everybody knows out there that this whole situation where Yo Gotti was salty about the baby mama situation with Young Dolph, like, man, all this over a female was basically what the beef started on. Like, you can't be getting into a beef with a whole nother person and have it going 10 years, 15 years, all because of a girl and a thing that happened so long ago, back when it wasn't even official. That's the crazy thing. It's like, Yo Gotti didn't get married to her, and so that's just the baby mama when it comes to that. And so why did he have to feel a certain type of way? And now that Yo Gotti has a whole new, he's getting with Angela Simmons now. So did the baby mama situation ever matter? So did the beef really have to happen between Young Dolph and Yo Gotti is the question that now people got to turn into and really look at it. When you look at it from a whole perspective of knowing everything now that you know, you got to understand and be like, okay, so if Yo Gotti's with Angela Simmons now, chasing a whole nother girl and trying to marry her, and they're going to try to have the big wedding and everything coming up in the summer. And so the thing is that they're not going to invite any of the people from PRE in there. Like, Key Glock's not going to get invited there. They're not going to invite Mia J or anything like that, or Dolph's brother, because they all basically like in witness protection, like Dolph's brother and Mia J. Like, it was rumored that they hiding out in the hills somewhere, and that nobody's going to be able to see them until the trial's all over and everything. And that could take years, because now you see how the whole trial for X basically is getting in now, and that thing happened years and years ago. And so this is how long everything takes. And so until they get justice for Dolph, they're not going to be popping out. So they're not going to go to Yo Gotti's wedding. And so if Yo Gotti's getting married to a whole nother woman now, then it's like, where is Yo Gotti's baby mama? Can we get an interview from Yo Gotti's baby mama from the back then, the one that the whole Dolphins situation was based off of, that whole beef was based off of? And like, we got to be able to figure out all the people who was involved in all these things, because there was multiple people from CMG that was chasing down Dolph and literally running him down in the streets of LA on the sidewalk. And that's what got Dolph in the arm sling that one time. And now that, Black Youngster is coming back out, he was doing those disses in Dallas, and he's still putting out certain type of diss tracks and all that. Just goes to show you that, they were still hiding out and basically just kind of gloating and trying to showboat and rubbing it in people's faces and whatnot. So, but, moneybaggyo, he's still getting booked and everything like that. And so what you got to understand is that he's not bringing Yo Gotti with him to the shows no more. He can't bring Yo Gotti to the shows, because then everybody's going to be thinking like, oh, there's Yo Gotti. Like, we don't want him to be mad at anybody and then send somebody to go and, deal with it or something like that. Right. And so one thing that people got to understand is that, he was trying to basically let loose from that situation. That's why moneybaggyo tried to start BGE. And he tried to go with Zebo, but they couldn't get Yo Gotti out the deal because of the fact that moneybaggyo actually got put on by Dolph. And so he still has that guilt, and he still has that conscience like, dang, he wouldn't have been able to actually do this without Dolph putting him on, because Dolph did that feature for him and he did it for free. And so what you got to understand is that he did a lot of promotion for him, and he actually gave him a chance, because at that time, Dolph was already way big. He was already way big at that time. And so for Dolph to do that for moneybaggyo was him doing him a favor that might have boosted his career. And so he understood that. And when the beef started getting serious, that's when moneybaggyo was trying to get out of the CMG umbrella. And that's when he started BGE with Zebo. But then, like I said, Yo Gotti is still attached to it because of the things that they worked out at that time. With that whole situation in Memphis, Yo Gotti told moneybaggyo that he couldn't go with Dolph. If he did, that Yo Gotti was going to cut him off from any opportunities coming from the OGs or anything on that side of the plate, right? And so that's when moneybaggyo was like, dang, so since Yo Gotti signed to Jay-Z and all of them, he was just going to go with them and try to figure out if he could just kind of step in and get a piece of that pie. And so essentially, once he started getting his bread, and he seen that the Dolph Yo Gotti beef was getting super serious, he tried to get out of that, because he knew that it was going to end up involving or ending in some sort of way like this. But then for the fact that the Bentley was in front of the whole cookie shop, and we seen that picture that they released, it's like, did they make moneybaggyo drive to go and see what was going on and who was with them in that car? Because that could have been the last thing that they used him for before they let him go off and do his own stuff and basically go to the shows alone. Because now you don't see a lot of the people from CMG. You got to understand, 42 Doug, Straight Drop, all of the Big Jook, and all of them ended up, and Shondale and Black Young, all of them ended up basically getting intervened or in the interrogation room at some point for this whole situation that's been playing out this entire year with the Young Dolph incident. And so what you guys got to realize is that now all of this, they putting all the pieces together of the puzzle and figuring out exactly who was where at what time, because they never got the stories from everybody officially, because they had already the people from the getaway car that they had to find first before they could reveal and figure out who else was on that scene in the background watching or trying to, use the walkie-talkie and communicate back and forth to try to let people know what was going on, or to witness or to see and confirm whether it did happen or not, with the whole thing of him, getting it all done and cleaned up, right? And so that was what was going on. And so basically a lot more details are coming out. So subscribe to the channel, like this video, comment down below, and I'm going to catch you on the next one.